Hey man, just giving you a quick call. I just wanted to let you know that you are so close, dude. You're so much closer than you think. A lot of these big goals that we've had and these big aspirations, they're right around the corner for you, dude. So you just cannot give up. So stoked for you to see this. P.S. We bought a Lambo, so keep going, bro. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Bryson. This is the Bryson Everyday Project podcast. This podcast is a little bit different than other ones out there. Here, I only focus on documentation. I don't focus on quality or being professional or being entertaining. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I'd love for you to stick around and give the show a listen. You can also follow me on Instagram at BRQUSE. Thank you so much. Here's the show. What's up? It is Sunday, January 11th. 2026, 10:37 p.m. I wish I had more to say, but I really don't. I worked on very tiny amounts of stuff this morning with the app, and that's it. That is pretty much it. So rather than talking about what I did or didn't do, I'm just going to talk about, I guess, what I'm trying to accomplish right now. So with the app, I'm just trying to get everything polished off. And when I say polished, I don't mean it has to be perfect. It has to be the best. It has to be the most crisp and clean. I just need the shit to work. And right now, a lot of things are not working. You know, small, tiny example is when a user creates a task, but they decide last second that they don't want to actually commit to it and they want to save it for later. There's a button, you click save for later. Well, that button needs to actually save that task for later so they can commit to it and continue editing it if they want to. And then from there should be a button that pops up that allows you to click it to view all of the tasks that you saved for later. And then from there, you should be able to click on that task and then put it into the, I guess, the editor view, whatever you want to call it. I think I've talked about this before, actually. And then you can edit it and then commit to it from there. And if you commit to it from there, then it should register that you committed to a new task. But because you did it from the save for later list, it should remove it from that list. And if you don't commit to it from that list and you click save for later again or cancel, it should save the changes made and then put it back into the saved for later list. And a lot of this is kind of confusing, and I'm trying to make it work the way that it needs to work. There's another thing that I have to get right, which is when you commit to a task, and we'll say it's for 7 days. Oh, shit. When you commit to a task, and for example, in 7 days, on the 7th day, it will pop up and say, hey, your commitment is up. Congratulations, whatever. You got this percentage of success for this commitment. So, for example, for easy math, if I commit to something for 10 days and I do it, 6 times out of the 10, it'll say, your commitment is up. Your success rate was, and then it'd be 6 times out of 10, which would be 60%. So your success rate for this commitment was 60%. And then you can either recommit for however long you want, or you can just pause and archive the task. And things like this are just tricky to test because naturally they should happen. If I commit to a task for 7 days, naturally this will happen on the 8th day. And it's tricky to test that because if I want it to happen naturally, I'm going to have to wait 8 days. Can't do that. Can't afford to wait 8 days for one little test, So I have to then instruct Cursor to make simulation buttons. So, hey, let's just pretend that it is day 8 after I made this commitment. Let's just pretend. Let's see what the pop-up looks like. Let's see how it appears. Let's see what it how it reads. If there's any sound effects, all that stuff. And then I got to make that. And that stuff is not as much of a priority right now as other things are, like I was saying with the save for later. But those things got to work, and there's no sense in having me have people test things out for me when I already know a lot of things don't work. And that wouldn't be a very productive test if some of the main functions didn't work correctly. Not to mention, there's a lot of issues There's not a lot, but there are issues where when you just look at a challenge, or you look at a blade, or you look at a task that was saved for later, but you click cancel on any of what I just said, it will still actually commit you to that task. So that's kind of a deal breaker, because you can't delete a task once you've committed to it. You can never delete anything. That's kind of the point. You can't say, I'm going to stop drinking, I'm going to commit to it for 30 days, and then decide, 3 days in, that's too hard, you're a little bitch, and you can't do it. That will stay on your record forever. That'll be on your profile forever. And if you want to archive it, you can, but it'll be public view. So somebody can see that you committed to it for 30 days. You completed it one day, and then the last 29 days you failed because you didn't mark it off. Now, could you lie? Yeah, you could, but that would defeat the whole purpose. And you're also paying to use the app, which is, you're stupid if you do that. So it's kind of the idea. So why would I have somebody be testing out the app to use it when they can't even delete tasks that are created for them as a result of things not working right in the first place? That'll screw up their score, their success rate, their failure rate. I don't have to deal with that. So it's kind of why things are, quote, taking too long, I guess, right now. I'm just trying to iron out a lot of the details. So that's all I've been doing. Tomorrow is Monday, so I'll have a call with Mina, and then I will be working on a lot of Mina stuff tomorrow. There's a lot of things we got to get done, I guess more urgently, but yeah, anyway. I think that's all I want to say for this episode. I know I'm very behind, but if you're listening, you wouldn't know any different. So I have only uploaded up to 7.99 at this point, and I think today was 8.15, so not the furthest I've been behind, but we'll get it. We'll get there. Tomorrow I got to get it done, or I don't know. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting day, but that's it. Thank you guys for listening. Talk to you soon. Bye.